Hey, friend, we're back with Don Hale. And before the break, we were talking about Don Hale winning the world championship with his boxer, Frankie Randall. And Don, you know, along the way, you used to live in Michigan, and there was a young teenager there who everybody knows is a great fighter today, who ended up living with you and your wife. Tell us a little bit about that young man and his story.
Well, it coincides with the Frankie Randall story, because when Frankie fought Chavez, I was living in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I went out with Frankie the week before the fight, and I went out on a Sunday. On Monday, we go to the boxing gym for Frankie to train. And Roger Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather's uncle, who was a two-time world champion, was in the gym. And when Roger finds out I'm from Grand Rapids, he comes over and says, look, I have a nephew that's running the streets in Grand Rapids. He's not in the boxing gym. He's a good boxer. And would you be interested in watching out after him? Well, the story was that when Big Floyd, Floyd's dad, went to prison, he sent little Floyd out to be with Roger in Las Vegas. After about 2 weeks, Roger couldn't handle it, and he sent him back to Grand Rapids. He was living with his grandmother, running the streets, wasn't in the boxing gym. So I got with Floyd. He called me the following week. The next day, Floyd was actually staying at our house, and ended up living with us, and I started taking him to the boxing gym. And it was I was not a trainer, didn't claim to be, still don't claim to be, but I got Floyd in shape, and he went to ended up living with us, and I started taking him to the boxing gym. And it was I was not a trainer, didn't claim to be, still don't claim to be, but I got Floyd in shape, and he...
Not a trainer, but he got Floyd in shape. Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Let's talk a little bit about Floyd Mayweather's white daddy, Don Hale, who does not get enough credit for being instrumental in Floyd Mayweather becoming that which he became. And there are very good reasons for that. Detroit Free Press syndicated an article from USA Today Sports, and it reads, Don Hale chuckled when he recalled what Floyd Mayweather Jr. told him about the boxer's family members. What the boxer's family members called Hale, his white daddy, Hale said. And his relationship with the boxer remains a matter of intrigue more than 2 decades after it started. So they still have a relationship, or at that time did anyway. As Mayweather prepares to fight Manny Pacquiao on May 2nd, Hale discussed the 2 years he spent with Mayweather during a pivotal time of the boxer's amateur career. Hale, who owns a multi-million-dollar hormone replacement company, knows about being viewed as the bad guy too. After he became Mayweather's unofficial guardian in the mid-1990s, Hale said, some people said he did it only so he could manage the promising fighter when Mayweather turned pro. But now Tennessee's Attorney General has cast Hale as a bad guy too. Hale and his brother, Dan Hale, Dr. Dan Hale, have been embroiled in litigation since 2012 when the state sued the Hale's company for making unsubstantiated health claims for failing to advise patients of potential side effects. And failing to advise patients. While denying those charges, Hale said he never discussed hormone therapy with Mayweather, never treated any professional athletes, and insists that the boxer never would use performance-enhancing drugs. Well, we know that last part wasn't true, was it? As Floyd Mayweather got caught by USADA using an illegal IV. And the whole investigation, well, just kind of got swept under the rug and never really happened, right? Right. So Hale, in my opinion, as he was getting Mayweather in shape, and their relationship was a very hushed one, very quiet one, was working with Mayweather behind the scenes, supplying him with PEDs, in my opinion. And if you are to believe Tennessee State attorney and the people that came forward suing Hale, he wasn't exactly an upfront kind of a guy. Now, as far as using HGH, what that means, what that looks like, and why it's done, I went to www.steroidology.com, where people who use this stuff talk about it. Currently, I am taking 2 IUs in the morning and 2 IUs at bedtime of growth hormone, and have started taking insulin at 2 IUs, working my way up to 10 IUs, increasing 2 IUs each day. Should I change my second GH shot to post-workout along with my insulin shot, or should I keep the GH shots the way they are? So somebody here is new to using GH, growth hormone. He's using it in conjunction with insulin, and has some questions and concerns for more experienced people. Now, this is important. IGF, also known as somatomidin, I hope I'm saying that right, IGF-1, IGF-LR3, are a hormone with similarities to insulin. It plays an important anabolic role in the body, primarily the mediator of the effects of growth hormone. It stimulates almost every cell in the body, including skeletal muscle. GH, growth hormone, a synthetic peptide version of human growth hormone which naturally occurs in the body, known for its important role in cell repair, cell productivity optimization, and amino acid conversion. Just in general, says Iron Master, exogenous GH, which means growth hormone that's not produced in your body but comes from outside of your body, suppresses insulin sensitivity. That is the reason that serious people use insulin in conjunction with GH injections. Since the half-lives are similar, it makes good sense to use the Humalog at the same time as the GH injection. Right? So you're taking insulin because growth hormone suppresses insulin sensitivity. This guy says you use it in conjunction with growth hormone, that is, in conjunction with insulin. There, a direct answer from an old guy who has used growth hormone and insulin for many years. Okay? Now, from webmd.com, we have a diagram of insulin injection areas. So the pink area is where you would normally inject insulin, right? Still with me? Good. Now, Floyd Mayweather. I'm not sure which fight this is, but it's irrelevant. You see the little mosquito bites, we'll call them, in and around his belly button? I could see 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 of them. 6 maybe, right? Here's another photo from the same fight, right? They're all over the place. If you go check out Mayweather's weigh-in photos, you'll see that it's a recurring theme with Floyd, all right? So, Floyd Mayweather Jr., it is my opinion, and I think the evidence basically speaks for itself, has been using growth hormone for a very long time, which is why he's been able to train as hard as anybody else in...
30 años compartiendo tanto, conectando.
Sorry about that. He's been able to train just about as hard as anybody else in the sport while completely screwing with his circadian rhythm, meaning not getting the proper amount of sleep at the right time, right? He's known for running at 3, 4 a.m., eating burgers late night or early in the morning, smoking weed with his hose, right? Not taking care of his body. but because he's been juicing, using growth hormone, amongst other things, I am sure, he's been able to recover, and he's been able to beat his body up in training and not take care of his body. And while at the same time being always in great shape, always shredded, without an ounce of fat on his body, and moving up in weight and looking bigger and more shredded as he got older. Damn near 40 years old, and he's looking bigger and more shredded than ever before. Why? HGH, TRT, you name it, he's done it. So anybody who wants to talk about PEDs in boxing and cleaning up the sport of boxing, accusing people of doing PEDs, going after fighters for not getting tested like you want them to, if you're not starting with Floyd Mayweather, the guy that ushered this new era of weaponized drug testing, shout out to Maxwell Bear, this new era of ethnic cleansing by means of PED drug testing, anybody who wants to engage in this conversation and has completely overlooked Floyd Mayweather's track record and how he's been instrumental in bringing about this new era of an uneven playing field while painting it as a level playing field. If you don't first and foremost start with Floyd Mayweather and get real about how this came about, where it came from, and what it means, if you're sitting there and giving Mayweather credit, saying how he is one of the greatest fighters of all time, while at the same time discrediting other fighters for juicing, you're nothing but a goddamn fraud. Got it? Good. Thank you for listening. Tell the truth, motherfuckers. Tell the truth.